And right into the stretch. Looking back and throws up the middle. Rose is on his way around. Picked up by Otis.
Here comes the ready or not. Here comes the boys from the south. Here comes the ready or not. How you like me now? I say, here comes the ready or not. Here comes the boys from the south. Here comes the ready or not. How you like me now?
You don't let it in Cleveland. You let it in Cincinnati.
You are watching live to the best damn Cincinnati sports podcast this side of Mr. Jean's doghouse on Beekman. My name is Santori Miles. We got Cincy James. We got Bengal Dad. We got Big Savage Greg. How we doing? It sucks we lost. I'll answer for you.
Yeah, that's a loaded question right now.
Hey, we'll rebound. We got this.
This is our therapy session, and then we're on to Baltimore.
Yes, we are.
That's what this
Therapy's for sad people.
Don't stay on the tracks when the train's coming through.
Well, we need therapy. I need therapy. I can tell you
We
that.
don't even have a train, Greg. We got a kid.
No, I didn't
like,
say it last week. I did not say it last week. That's another bad luck. I didn't say it last week.
we don't have a train coming through. We got like a toddler pushing one of those plastic lawnmowers. That's all we got right now.
Yep.
Well, we're turning that into a train.
And they're on wet grass and they're slipping.
Yeah.
It was.
Well, I suggest all of our listeners and watchers watch this from their couch. I think they need to treat this like therapy. We're here to help everybody.
Yep.
I need self-help, but I'll try to help if I can.
Bengal Dad self-help. All right. I like it.
If you are a positive person, you're not going to want to watch this show. It's going to get ugly.
Listen, you guys know we talked about it before. I'm one of the most positive people there is when it comes to sports, and my teams. There was not a whole lot to be positive about yesterday. There was a couple little bright spots, and then everything else was engulfed that.
What was that Joe Burrow face that he made when he was told that Zach saw something positive? I think it was like,
oh yeah, like what?
No,
Yeah.
no, I didn't see it.
Yeah, unfortunately, Darth is right. Myles Garrett was the train this time. Him and Zadarius Smith. It was
he was the dancing train. If you saw the one clip,
yep, they did.
That was totally embarrassing.
They only got 2 sacks, but man, they hit Joe a lot. Whew.
Yeah, before we get into our sponsors, remember how you'll always hear people say, well, sacks aren't everything. That's a perfect example of you don't necessarily have to get home to affect the game.
Right.
Yeah, and they made him really uncomfortable. But do you like honey? Do you like wine? You're probably going to like mead. Do you need something to take the edge off of yesterday? Because boy, do we have something for you. And
if you drink enough of it, you might forget yesterday happened.
It's Brimminghorn Meadery. Take it away, Santori.
Vikings. They lost 2.
Okay, well done.
At least we're not the Giants. That's
we did score. I will say that, yeah. Go to BrimminghornMeadery.com. Use our code HOODAY9 on your order of 2 bottles or more to get 15% off of your order. By the way, you got to be 21 years or older in order to order. Did I say that right? Did I say?
I think so. Order.
Okay. I don't know what I said.
On to the freeway.
Do you like noodles? Do you like chili? Do you like cheese? Do you like it all over your clothes? Well, we do too. And so does Adam Rosell or Anderson, whatever he renamed himself to. I don't know what's going on there. But we love Adam, and he loves meaty, slurpy noodles. And don't cheat, have a 3-way. We don't have a code, but buy his stuff.
It's good stuff. It's actually quality. The T-shirt is uber comfortable. 3waycity.com to get yours today.
But don't slurp the noodles like my brother does, because then like the meat falls all over your shirt.
Yeah.
But the cheese is great. You just eat the cheese like I don't.
Oh
we're
yeah,
off the
I
rails.
could just eat the cheese all day.
Dad, I don't know. Dad goes with the 2-way. I don't know what he's doing down there.
I don't like that cheese.
I was going to say, is it noodles and cheese? That'd be funny.
I can do it 3-way, but I'll do it with beans.
Dad's just a meat and noodles kind of guy.
Yes.
I mean, hey, if you don't have the cheese, go for it. You know,
He enjoys the old 2-way city.
Speaking of noodles, why don't we talk about Joe Burrow's arm?
Oh, damn.
That's a wet noodle.
I think it's time to hit when the hitting's deserved.
So that brings us to our game recap. Bengals versus Browns. Here we go. Take it away.
Have you ever tried to throw a half gallon of milk with your eyes closed in the rain? Because that's what Joe Burrow looked like for like all of yesterday.
He looked like he was throwing a wet watermelon. That's what it looked like.
Someone on Twitter said this is what it looks like when I throw a Nerf ball. Like it was so bad. And we can laugh about it a little bit because we know that's not Joe.
Yes.
I mean, we've got years of data in film. Dad, I know you don't like hearing it. That was 100% the rain when it comes to the grip. The other stuff, I don't know about necessarily.
Well, I'm not 100% sure it was just the rain because somebody put on Twitter the same thing that you thought last night because they saw him putting his glove on and tugging at his thumb to get the glove on properly.
After that first hit, because I came downstairs about 4 plays in because I was finishing up chicken wings because that's what I do. The first thing I saw was the camera zoomed down and him doing this with his thumb and like pulling at it. I thought he jammed his thumb. He may have. I don't know. There were a couple throws once he got the glove on that looked fine.
Yep.
So that's why I was like, maybe he didn't jam it. Maybe he was just doing this because it's slick. I mean, I know quarterbacks that do this and try and get grip every other play.
Like a pitcher?
Yeah, but it seemed a little bit more than he normally does, so it caught me a little by surprise. It's one of those things that I don't anticipate happening very often. So I'm trying to chalk this up to sometimes you just have a shitty game. I mean, there's 1 or 2 of those every year, it seems.
Language.
Oh, whatever.
No.
Oh, but language for me now.
Yeah, I'm allowed to cuss during a Bengal game. I was told that when I was like 12.
That game is not going on right now.
Well, say, Corbin, I was watching with you. Why don't you
carry over?
Go ahead, Big Savage.
Well, say, Tori, why don't you tell us some interesting things I was saying during the game? And instead of cussing, I'm like, oh, screw off or something and all that. I had some very creative sayings.
You called Mixon a little bitch at one point.
Yes, you did.
Did I?
It was like it was in a good way. You were like you meant to say like
what in a good way?
Mixon,
No, in a very good way.
Mixon popped off a run, and at one point he's like, "Yeah, come on, get out of here, you little."
No, I was cussing at the other people.
No, I was like, "Were you about to cuss at Mixon?" You were like, "Yeah, bitch," and I was like, "What?"
Well, you know when that was when the Bengals actually ran the ball well for like three, maybe even 4 plays if you want to count the face plant by Travion, and he still runs through the hole and gets yards. Yeah. And then Zachariah decides to throw a fade pattern to the guy that's playing out his contract, and boom! Now we're fourth and 3.
Is that what we're going to call Zach when we're mad at him?
Yeah, I'm going to get a little religious on him. Little Zachariah.
So one of the shows I was doing today, someone said, "Oh, the defense was horrible." How do you call the defense horrible? How many times did we punt the ball during the game? Didn't we send NFL? I think they said 7 times.
No, 10. I think.
Can we blame the defense at all for this game?
I can blame the defensive coordinator for 2 specific calls that had me losing my mind. I don't like cover 0. I have never liked cover 0. I refused to call cover 0 when I called coverages. It's just a bad idea. That's like pulling the goalie. It's as my dad said several times, it's a desperation move. You don't do that. That's kind of like a last resort. And we did it 3rd and 10 when we were shutting them down, and it led to a touchdown. I don't necessarily blame the players for that. Sometimes you don't put your players in good spots.
Yep.
The defense did what it could. For the most part, it was a one-score game most of the game.
Yep.
At some point, attrition sets in, and they just got worn down. There was an old-school approach by Cleveland. It paired well with the weather. The defense didn't necessarily play bad, but, man, they got tired toward the end.
Tired.
Yes.
Well, the Bengals had 7 3-and-outs in terms of their offense. 7 3-and-outs. They basically – Cleveland had the ball for 36 minutes. 36 minutes. We had it for about 24.
It's really not too much of a discrepancy, but the issue is those 36 minutes, it seemed like every single time they were starting at midfield. You can't start at midfield against a running team that's running the ball well and expect to do anything. The only reason that they didn't put up 40 points is because they couldn't throw the ball.
Hey, I got one for Crib Keeper. If you take a look at my name, I am now the punter bully.
Yeah, he was all upset with
10
Rollins.
punts. You would think he'd get it right sometime after the third or fourth one. We drafted that jackball. Oh, my God. Bring the kid from LaSalle back.
I'll take Chris.
He doesn't even want to be a Bengal. He can punt better when he doesn't even want to.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, that guy sucked. He flat out sucked. And no, he's not ever coming on the show. I wouldn't want his ass on the show. He fucking sucked. There, I said it.
Oh,
We wasted a 5th-round draft pick on that guy. Kick the ball. You got one job. Kick the ball.
It was 6th, but I get it.
Yeah.
Oh, my
Semantics.
God.
you got to put like $8 in the swear jar right now.
It's going in. That guy pissed me off. All I heard all spring was what a great punter this was. Wait till you see what happens. This guy's got all this hang time and all this shit. Now, you can't punt in the rain. We know that. Let's hope he can punt in dry weather. If not, they need to bring somebody in week 3.
We're just going to go down the list because he's got like 10 rants like this. I'm just going to say the player and you go. We're just going to go rapid fire. McPherson's on your list too. I know he is.
I'm not as upset with McPherson. I'm upset with Zach. When you're
Okay.
down 10, when you're down
Zachariah.
10-3. What?
Zachariah.
I'm sorry. When you're down 10-3 and you're at your 30-yard line, why is Zachariah saying we can't convert a 4th and 3? Let's just let this guy kick, and oh boy, we'd be within 10-6, and our defense is completely gassed. You need to capitalize when you have an opportunity, and we played scared, and he didn't go for it because he didn't trust Joe Burrow and his I can't grip the ball hand. That's exactly what happened. Then put freaking Jake Browning in the game. Put somebody in the game that can move and grip the football. I don't care what they're paying Joe Burrow. I want to win football games. And if Joe Burrow's in another rain game and he can't grip the ball and they let him play, I'm leaving the game. I'm out. There's just no reason to watch it. Is that enough?
He's played in bad weather before and been fine.
Yeah, so what was the problem?
I know. That's kind of the thing.
That's
like,
where I go to the thumb thing.
Yeah.
And if it was the thumb, as Joey Votto does, I'm hurt. I'm not going to hurt the team. Why can't Joe Burrow be a stand-up and do that? We need to win games. This is not about individual plays and players. It's about a team win. And if you're hurting the team, be a man, step up. You're getting paid big boy money. Step up like they're paying you and do what you got to do to help this team win. And if that means removing yourself until you get better, remove yourself.
Would you remove yourself? Just
Absolutely.
a question.
If I'm hurting the team, I absolutely would remove myself.
I will pipe up here. I have seen him remove himself from work and other events before if he is the cause of it not going well. So yes.
And that wasn't a mean question. That was just asking the question. That was all.
No, I mean, you're never bigger than the team. That's what it comes down to. I've never thought I was bigger than the team. And when individual players think they're bigger than the team, and I love Joe Burrow. So don't get me wrong. I am a huge Joe Burrow fan. But when things aren't going well, get your ass out of there. Let's try to win a football game and not just be the hero that can't perform. No, Santori is not wearing a shirt.
Peep
I
the
think
name.
I think he ripped the Bengal jersey off, and he's never wearing a shirt again.
No, he's not Derek.
No, Derek actually ripped his Evan McPherson.
I saw
jersey
that.
in half.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Well, no, for me, I had a bit
That's
of
a waste of money. Those things aren't cheap.
I was gonna
I've
say,
only thrown one thing away. I threw my hat as far as I could throw it from the red seats when Sam Weish called a running play with 6 seconds to go against the 49ers, and we gave them the ball with 2 seconds to go, and Montana hit Rice to beat us at the end. Instead of
1980
punting the ball. I was infuriated.
1989.
1989.
It was the year after this, or 7.
1987, I think it was the first Bengal game that I went to after my father passed away. And I thought to myself, he's lucky he's gone. He doesn't have to see this.
Greg,
Anyway.
what were you saying?
I don't know if I can top any of this off right here, but I mean, you know what? I mean, look, I'm frustrated like we all are. Believe me, I am so frustrated. You know me. I'll tweet stuff out. I still love this team. I just choose not to bash the team or anything. But I get people's – believe me, I was in pain. I lied in bed all night. Couldn't even watch football in general. But like I say, I feel everybody's pain.
What time did you go to bed, Greg?
What time did I go to bed?
Mm-hmm.
10 or 11 o'clock.
I went to bed
Last
at
night?
7.
You went to bed at 7?
I went home. I went to bed, and I woke up at 8 o'clock. I got 13 hours
I can't
of
do that.
isolation.
I could not do that. You know, hats off to you for doing that, but I could not do that. But look, guys, you know what, though? Here's the thing. Tomorrow's another day. Well, today's another day, whatever the hell you want to call it. But I have no doubt in my mind we are still a good team. We can still rebound from this. You know, I mean, last year we started 0-2. I know people were panicking. You know, people are like saying this, saying that. And look, here's the thing about Zach Taylor. You can still blame Zach Taylor and be a supporter of his. I love Zach Taylor. I still think he's a great coach. But yes, I did not like his play calling or anything. Doesn't mean I hate the guy or anything, but I just didn't approve how the game was called and all, you know. I still love my family. My family may make decisions that I don't approve of, but I still love them and all that and stuff.
I hate some of my family. It's all right.
Yeah, but anyway, I get Bengal Dad. I get your frustration, St. Corey, you know, James, and you know, anybody. I get everybody's frustration, but I'm just here to keep moving. You know what? To quote from the movie Rocky VI, it's not about how hard you can hit in life. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
Damn movies did they make? Rocky 6.
Hey, I want to jump in real quick because I see Shelley's comment.
Yeah.
The difference between last year and this year is Burrow had a tremendous second half against the Steelers and put ourselves in a position to win. We were on an uptick going into that Cowboy game, even though we had the long snap situation. We had a logical excuse for why we didn't win that game. Find me anything from yesterday offensively. Find me more than 2 runs. Find me a single pass. There's nothing. What the hell happened?
Well, I go back to reps.
Yep.
They didn't have them.
It could be.
They didn't have them.
Well, they need to rep Joe Burrow by putting a hose on the
All
ball
right,
the entire practice.
we're gonna pivot here because I didn't think it was a huge deal 2 years ago. This year I was uncomfortable with it, and I think all 4 of us are gonna have the same answer this year. Could they please play the starters in preseason next year?
Yes, yeah. If they get hurt, they get hurt.
We're gonna get 11 months ahead of this one right now. Play them.
Mm-hmm.
If they get hurt, they get hurt.
And I think Zach was going to in the 3rd game, and then Burrow got hurt, and they weren't going to put – obviously they couldn't put him out there, so I think he was like – he just shelved the whole idea.
All right, I'm gonna do something I don't want to do, James, and I'm sorry if it causes some internal turmoil. It wasn't just Burrow, it was the whole offense. I'm going to disagree. There was one player on that entire offense yesterday that looked like he wanted to fucking win, and it was Joe Mixon.
Yep.
He ran so damn hard. He was running people over. He was making people miss.
He did.
He had the fifth highest in the NFL this week. Missed tackle grade, or like
Yes.
he made like 0.2 people miss every play. Basically, every 5 runs he had missed tackles. Is how it comes out to. Dude ran his ass off. He wanted to win. If there was someone that you could have just said, get on my back and let's fucking go yesterday, it was Mixon. And our freaking dumbass head coach who likes to abandon the run, does it a lot. It's not the first time, specifically against Cleveland. Go watch the Halloween game last year. Tell me it wasn't identical. Abandons the run when they get down. Wouldn't give him the ball.
I will say we ran it double what we did last year against Cleveland.
Oh, great. Yay. We went from 5 carries to 10 or whatever. Mixon should have had 20 to 25 carries in that game. It was raining. You have giant linemen, and your quarterback couldn't grip the ball. It was a one-score game up until about 10 minutes to go. Why the hell were you not running the ball? And your line was blocking well. He was getting holes. He was averaging 5 yards a carry, and you decided to stop in a one-score game? Bro, this is Little League. This is Football 101. If you can't stop the run, you can't win. And that's coming from someone who doesn't like running the ball. That's just the truth.
And when you got the elements against you, what do? You hand the ball off.
And no one was throwing the ball in that game. If there's a game where you can go punch for punch in the monsoon, it's that one.
Mm-hmm.
You had a chance to just say, here you go, Joe.
Deshaun Watson did not look great. He didn't look good at all. Like he was
bouncing the ball too.
Mm-hmm.
Can I bring up another point? How is it the Cleveland Browns had their receivers wide open the entire game, and we were blanketed? We got these guys that want these big $30 million contracts, and I want to be the number one receiver. Just, my God, just freaking play the game. I'll say it now. If T. Higgins wants to be a number one, beat out Chase. I'm tired of hearing he wants to be a number one. That's how you're number one. You don't get number one by going in the transfer portal and playing for a lesser team. You want to win by default? Step up, be a man, and beat out Chase.
I agree.
I like what Pork Chop said. You can't really abandon it if you never really focus on it in the first place. It's not really a focus of the offense.
My question, Tori, I want to ask you a football question, man. When it's 3rd and 3, you know, whatever happened to the boring old, I'm going to go Madden here, HB slam or just a little simple slam pass, or we're throwing a 50-50 risky ball up in the air where it's wet outside, and we're not even going for it on 4th down. Help me out here.
I mean, I would try and run it. You don't.
It's a coach that doesn't trust his offense.
I saw that play I think it was to T on the right sideline.
Well, here's the thing. I'm okay doing that kind of stuff if you plan on going for it on 4th down.
That's what
if you know you've got 2 plays, then okay.
Yeah,
take a shot.
Yep. That's
to
what
me, that's no different than throwing a bomb on 2nd and 1 if I know I'm going to go for it on 3rd and 1. If you're going to treat 4th down like 3rd down, then so be it. You just better have something good dialed up on 4th down, or you're going to look like an idiot for that 3rd down call. The thing is, and this is where the math does take over, as much as people want to say you can't win football in spreadsheets, and I vehemently disagree. Low percentage plays should not be picked in high leverage situations.
No.
They're just dumb. It's like throwing a fade on 4th and 1 at the goal line.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now there's a 50-50 chance I'm not going to make it. The best coaches, and I'm sorry to say this sounds negative, the best coaches are the ones that look at the glass half empty and go, that shit's not going to work. Get it out.
Mm-hmm.
You can never pinpoint what is 100% going to work,
right?
But you can always pinpoint what's going to fail. And to me, 50-50, that's a fail. That's hope. That's flipping a coin. We don't do that in this town.
Wasn't the first 3rd down play of the game, wasn't it a 3rd and 1? And he threw it across the field behind the line of scrimmage to our tight end?
It was a design screen. It just wasn't blocked well, but yes.
I mean, but there were like 6 guys there.
That's a high percentage throw. I didn't necessarily have an issue. This is kind of what we got into last year. There's a difference between not liking the play call and not liking the execution. If it's blocked up and Irv Smith catches it, which, by the way, Irv Smith's a whole other conversation.
Yeah,
if he catches that ball,
nothing there.
If he catches the ball and turns upfield, it's a 15-yard gain. If it's not blocked, there's zero chance for it. It's a screen. It is what it. I don't have an issue running screens in short yardage situations, but you better block. You got to do what's asked of you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's no different than calling a run game. Because the screen is an extension of the run game. It really is. That's what it's designed for.
Right.
It's no different than trying to run up the middle and getting blown up and going, oh, that was dumb. Well, no, it wasn't blocked. I don't necessarily disagree with the play call. I just can't stand the execution.
I agree. It's
And most of the things that went wrong yesterday, probably 85% of all the things that went wrong yesterday, with the exception of Burrow's grip, was up front again. The line still looks like shit. I don't know if it's a continuity thing, like it's going to be like it was last year and we have to wait a freaking month for them to get going, or if it's a Cleveland's got their number thing. I don't know. The issue is there's so many variables and it's so early that you can't really – there's not enough data points to point to one problem and go, it's that. And that's, I think, the thing that's so frustrating is it's so early, so many things went wrong, and it's like, what the hell? Where do you go? Well, like when you go and watch film, typically you've got 3 or 4 games, or a specific problem of, oh man, that one thing wasn't working. They got 11 assholes out there that weren't working. Where do you start?
I was going to say something. Dang it.
We have shattered your
game.
The Holder did great.
No, the Holder had a good game. He received a couple of those nice and put them right down.
That's Brad Robbins. He can't punt, but he can hold.
Oh, okay. Well, he can do half a job then.
I
He does
know.
have 2 jobs to do.
To go in a little teensy wincy, one little positive. Dax Hill did play a great game.
I don't think so.
Pro Football. Okay, I know you're not a believer in Pro Football Focus, but okay, yeah, he was great.
I was sitting there during the game going, "Oh, fucked up again. Oh, missed there. Didn't do well there." And then Pro Football Focus says he does great.
I think DJ Reader had a good game.
Reader had a good game.
There.
Pro Football Focus says he has a good game because they grade turnover-worthy plays with such weight. He had a pick fall right in his lap because it got deflected at the line.
Right.
And Pro Football Focus rewarded him with a 73 is a solid game.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that, he would be below average.
That was an Ed Reed interception.
Hey, Ed Reed is a Hall of Famer.
Right?
Ed Reed would have scored a touchdown on
about
that
40
play.
more of those.
Ed Reed would have scored a touchdown.
What'd you say? Yeah, Ed Reed would have taken it for a touchdown.
Or he flipped it to somebody else. Jesus.
But yeah, Santori, you said it was different subject. Let's talk about Irv Smith for a little bit. I mean, I miss Hayden Hurst already. I'm sorry, but yeah,
Irv had a touchdown yesterday.
Hold on. I'm looking at Irv Smith. There's a whole lot of nothing in there. Yep. Okay. Hey, Zim, since you love to just say you love all these guys so much, and I was getting blasted by you and Ace about how he's going to be this great vertical threat, and I said, no, that's not how our system works, and I was called a freaking idiot and a mixie cutter and all this other bullshit the whole offseason. Well, guess what? The furthest pass they threw downfield to your great seam threat was about 4 yards down the sideline. It's the same system. The system doesn't change for the player. There's a limited production for how tight ends work in this offense. If he has 500 yards this year, I'll Venmo you $100. They ain't doing anything with him. I'm tired of hearing that. Drew Sample had 400 yards in this offense. Hayden Hurst was like God's begotten son, and guess what? He was still just Irv Smith, the China doll who's going to break by week 5 after he catches 3 passes for -5 yards or whatever the hell he's going to do. Great. He's awful. There's a reason why he's on his 4th team in 4 years or whatever the hell it is. No one wants him.
Who, Irv Smith?
Yeah.
No, he's not.
Whatever. He's terrible.
He was with the Vikings. He hadn't been on another team.
Great. They didn't want him either.
I'm just making sure we got it right there.
Sure, whatever. I don't care if I look like an idiot. He's bad.
Well, and are we going to make assumptions for the whole season off of one game?
Yeah.
No,
Sure.
I'm not going to make assumptions.
No, I'm going to make assumptions off of his entire career. He can't stay healthy and he can't perform.
Santori, I get what you're saying, man. Believe me, he was not. I mean, like I was not impressed off. But let's just see how time goes. We'll see. Hayden Hurst kind of started off quiet, if we remember, right, for the Bengals. Then he took off.
Again, another guy that was bouncing around who couldn't find a home. He was the 3rd team in 4 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
While I'm on a freaking rant, just because I'm so pissed off, the Indiana punt returner.
Oh, I told you that 2 weeks ago. That
Charlie
guy, he can't juke out a blade of grass. He's terrible.
He couldn't make a stop sign miss.
No, he's terrible.
Oh, my God. Shoulder doesn't affect your feet, bud. Pick him up. Let's go. Oh, God. Thank God he can catch because he can't run. I don't care what his 40 time says. There's 40 time, there's game speed, and his game speed is on turtle.
He's got to run. Well, think of it as he's got to run north. Don't run east and west, right?
If he runs north, he won't get anywhere. He don't have north and south. He don't have east and west. He is a fair catch candidate.
Give him some time,
Yeah.
I'm on your side, Greg.
He's the wrong guy to have back there. He's the
One game.
We didn't see it in preseason either. He couldn't even juke out guys that were going to get cut. I mean, he's terrible.
There's some guy working at a McDonald's right now going, I tackled him 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. And there's some guy at McDonald's right now that could be a better punt returner for us.
Probably.
I don't know. Maybe.
We have destroyed James' optimism right now.
Yeah, I know it.
No,
I'm not trying
you
to
haven't. I'm just sitting here listening.
Maybe Brad Robbins will learn how to punt in the next 6 days.
Yeah. Now, Bengal Dad, this question's for the he's now the punter boy. Bengal Dad, are you worried about McPherson right now?
No.
Okay,
he looked good in preseason.
Right.
If the weather is going to affect somebody, it's probably going to affect your kicking game more than anything. Now, it didn't affect the Cleveland kicker, and McPherson pushed that 5 foot to the right. He probably hit it 60 yards.
Right.
So no, I have nothing bad with McPherson. His kickoffs were good. He only got a couple, but his kickoffs were good. No, I don't have a problem there. I have a big problem with Robbins though.
I mean, is there anything to the rain and the ball saturated and slippery?
I saw the Cleveland Brown punter punting the ball pretty well.
Oh, he sucked too.
Oh, not like that. Not nothing. Nothing like Robbins. I saw freaking what are we calling him? Chuck Sizzle? I don't know why we're calling him that. I saw him having to back up a couple times to catch punts. He backed all the way up to his 5 yard line once. Was that him? Am I thinking of the right guy?
He caught one at the 4.
What are you doing that for? Blockhead. I mean, whatever happened to putting your feet on the 10? And if it goes over, it goes over you. And the ball was going to skip on that grass.
Yeah, I do agree with that.
What the hell? It's like nobody did anything right.
It was a tough game.
It was 53 Stooges.
The 53 Stooges.
Here's what I'll say. I know this is completely stupid and all
Greg
that.
looks so depressed.
I know.
No. This is what I'm going to say. I don't know if any of you watched this documentary about the Dream Team, but anyway, he had them lose on purpose to like a bunch of other players that they were clearly better than. But it was his way of showing his team, you could lose and all that. This could happen. I'm not saying, but maybe they should take this as a mentality. Hey, we're this great team, but look what happens. We have all this great roster. We could lose. I know this is crazy to say, but like I say, I'm just trying to stay positive. I mean, Tori, I totally understand your frustrations. I get that. I'm not trying to live in my little fantasy world or anything. I totally get that, man. Knowing this team, knowing where how far they come, I just can't believe this team's going to shut down. And I know I'm not saying you believe that. I just can't believe this team's going to shut down immediately, play like this all season. I just can't.
I don't think
agree
that
with
at
that.
all.
No. I didn't say you thought that. Is what I'm saying. I just can't believe us. I just can't believe this is going to keep continuing. Do you get what I'm saying?
Here's my point of view. We're capable of winning, but we also saw what we were capable of yesterday.
Yes.
So let's not forget, we can totally suck too.
Yes, we can.
And I haven't seen the Bengals come off of a game like that yet under Zach Taylor with Joe Burrow. That was far and away the worst game they have played since Burrow's been here.
Right.
There's not even a close second.
Yeah.
No fight at all.
So let's see what they can do.
Tickets are on sale now. $20 a game.
No, Santor, like I said, I knew you didn't think that. I'm just saying, I can't believe we're going to play. Do you think we're going to play like that the next game or two or whatever?
Yes.
Just my question.
Who has confidence that they're going to beat the Ravens?
I still have confidence.
The
Look at the injuries.
Ravens are decimated again with injuries.
Look at their injuries.
The Browns were missing a starting safety and had a corner whose brain is scrambled, and they shut our receivers down.
They have two corners that might not be playing.
I think a high school team could probably shut Jamar Chase down right now.
No,
They didn't do
He's the
anything.
only one that caught the ball.
Ooh.
Okay.
So he's like the only guy that did anything.
Yeah, they had to force feed him to do it.
Well, my concern was the receivers couldn't get open. If they'd have got open, Burrow couldn't have got on the ball anyway. He was out there throwing the watermelon.
No.
I mean, he wasn't going to get him the ball. But why can't we get open?
But it goes back to what James is saying. Joe Burrow looked like he didn't practice for weeks. Okay, a couple weeks ago when I attended Taste of Bengals, me and our friend of mine, Bourbon, we saw Dave Lapham. We're like, hey, Burrow's practicing, right? He's like, well, he's not running fully. Burrow did, Santori, maybe you know, Burrow did not start running fully until a day or two before the Cleveland game. I was nervous about that. That had me nervous.
I don't think his calf was a huge issue. As much as everybody keeps saying, he was messing with his knee.
Mm-hmm.
He did something to his knee that bothers me. I don't think his right calf was too big of an issue. And I know I'm going to sound like an idiot saying that. Believe me, I've said a few things that's going to make me sound like an idiot today, and that's fine. I'm frustrated. But the things that were bothering him were his knee. I mean, they when they were showing the band, when they were pulling on his right leg, that's a lateral movement that you use for ligaments. That's not his calf. That was above his calf. You don't stretch out the calf from the knee. And then they showed him on the sideline, and he was rubbing under his knee pad at his knee. He's got something going on with his kneecap to his high knee to low thigh area. That is an issue, not his calf. So he's hurt again somewhere else, and he's potentially hurt his thumb. Guy's made of glass. Call it what it is. He's always hurt. He's got something going on. They're going to have that graphic of him in 3 years like they had of Roethlisberger, where they got the human guy up there, and they can just point to every single injury the guy's had.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, just
Made
one
of
thing
glass?
again.
I don't agree with that.
I'm not here to bang on any comments, but I am going to say something to Tom Brooks, who said New Year's, Halloween 22, where I said they hadn't played a game that bad. I will say Halloween of 22, we put up 229 yards of total offense. We threw for 193 yards. We did get 15 first downs. We didn't get anything like that yesterday.
No.
Yeah, it was tough.
This is the worst single possible game the Bengals have ever played with Joe Burrow.
Yes, that was his worst game.
Absolutely. Wasn't the worst game by any Bengal quarterback if you go back to quite a few years again when they played the Browns in Cincinnati on Thursday Night Football, and that was the Andy 2.0 game.
And amazingly, he wasn't the worst graded quarterback yesterday. That was Daniel Jones last night.
It's because he didn't throw a pick.
Yeah, they saved the Bengals from even further national embarrassment, is what the New York Giants did.
Yes.
I like something you said earlier. I said, well, he didn't throw a pick. You said he couldn't throw one far enough to get
Yeah, he couldn't throw one far enough to get a pick. The only pick could have been a lineman. He couldn't throw one any further than that unless he put the glove on. Yeah. That's just ridiculous. I couldn't believe just watching that game unfold. They just kept him in the game throwing freaking hand grenades or whatever it was he was throwing. It was terrible.
Hand grenades. Oh, my God.
I wonder if he could have gripped it left-handed. Is his left hand bigger than his right? Can we get a measurement there that if this happens, he throws lefty?
I'll bet he could do it. If there's somebody that could, I'd say it's Joe Burrow.
He did say he throws left-handed in practice, but if he ever did in the game, he would just throw it out of bounds.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen him do that yet. Not in a game.
And I want this to be clear. We all love the Bengals. We are just, or at least Dad and I, are beyond frustrated with that game.
Understandable.
Yeah, I'm frustrated too.
I'm very frustrated.
That's all.
Oh.
Yeah, it was not a fun game to watch.
No, it was not fun at all, man. I'm just saying, man.
I know that.
We just got to have that mindset. Hey, man, we're going to bounce back. We got the home opener coming up. Just got to bounce back, man. Just have that mindset. Just forget about that game and move on to the next, right?
Well, Well, it doesn't matter if I have that mindset. It matters if those 53 guys have that mindset.
Well, exactly.
I
Doesn't
think
matter
they
how
have
I feel about it.
I think they've got that mindset.
Yeah, I believe so.
100%. Last year proved it. I think that's I don't think that's up for debate.
I think they need to remember this is 2023. Just don't think of it. Just don't. Last year's over.
But the mentality doesn't change.
No, it shouldn't. But they can't. There's a fine line between confidence and cockiness, and when you cross that line,
okay, here's
your
the
ass
deal.
kicked.
Dustin, do we have amnesia? You went to the Super Bowl AFC Championship. Relax, don't be a crazy fan. Okay, first and foremost, I was the one telling everybody to relax last year when they won 0-2. I'm not saying the season's over by any stretch of the imagination. I've never been that way, and I'll never be that way. And the other thing is, the Super Bowl was 2 years ago. You need to already get over that. That's long gone. It's in the rearview mirror. They lost. It's over. A good chunk of the guys that were on that team aren't here. The offensive line that started that game is not here. Half of the secondary, actually 3/4 of the secondary that was in that game are not here. Half the linebacking room is not here. Is what it is. Half the running back room is gone. Half of that receiver room is gone. That is, you probably have about 60% of that roster remaining. You have the same core, but that's a long time ago. That is an eternity in the NFL. 2 years ago? Tell the Rams that's okay because 2 years ago they were in the Super Bowl. They can't do shit right now.
They destroyed the Seahawks yesterday.
Okay, great. They can't do shit right now. You beat a bad team.
I wouldn't say the Seahawks are a bad team.
I wouldn't either.
They're not a good team.
No, St. George, that was a team that just barely missed the playoffs last year. I would not say that at all.
Okay, if you miss the playoffs, you're a bad team. Next.
I'm sorry, I don't agree with that, man. I mean, I'm not.
So are the Bengals a good team if they miss the playoffs this year?
Well, there's winning ball clubs that miss the playoffs.
Yeah.
It happens.
Patriots won 11 games one year, missed the playoffs.
You need to make the playoffs. If you don't do that, I don't think you're a good team.
Patriots won 11-5 and missed the playoffs 1 year.
Okay, we're good enough. Next.
Oh, come on! They almost won double their games, like double the amount of games they lost.
I guess I just have a higher standard. Okay, if you don't make the playoffs, you're not a good team. End of conversation. For me, I care about winning.
I think it's too black and white, personally.
Okay.
But that's just my personal feeling.
Ask any coach that didn't make the playoffs if they thought that they were happy with the year. They're going to tell you no.
Well, if you don't win the championship, every coach is going to be unhappy.
Well, no, so Seahawks 1 year went like 6-8, made the playoffs 1 year, and then do you consider them a bad team?
Yeah, I do.
They beat the Saints. They beat the damn good Saints team with. They did beat the Saints.
There's always an exception to the rule. They're not a good team.
Okay, yeah.
Well, let me jump in here. You can be a good team and miss the playoffs. I know my son is really upset right now. You can be a quality team and miss the playoffs, and you can be a horrific team like that Seattle team was and make the playoffs. The problem is we have already been to a Super Bowl. We've been to 2 AFC championship games. We're better than this. Mm-hmm. There's no way they should play like that. And if anybody, it can just say, oh, it was just a first game and this and that. That's bullshit. They got their asses kicked. They got embarrassed. And nobody should be willing to accept that it's just one game. Well, the Steeler game was just one game, and it probably cost them from going to the AFC championship in Cincinnati and cost them going to the Super Bowl. There is no it's just one game. That mentality is for losers. Every freaking game has incredible magnitude to it. So there is not, it's just one game. Unless they are 16-0 and they've got the round locked up, I don't care what happens in that 17th game. But until you've locked every single possible thing you can lock, every game is of ultimate importance. That's how I feel about it. And they laid the biggest freaking egg against the team that they are. The Cleveland Browns to the Bengals are the St. Louis Cardinals who fucking did it again. Took 2 out of 3 of us, and they're a suck-ass team. They can't play the uniform. The Browns have become the Steelers to the Bengals. That's what's happening here. We can't play that team. And it pisses me off because the Browns are going to probably come in 4th place in this division. I don't care how good they looked yesterday. I think they're going to come in 4th in this division.
Where are we going to finish?
I'll tell you in 2 weeks. They got to turn this around immediately.
No, I agree.
They're not going to have this magical 10-game winning streak, which was the first time in the history of the Bengals that they won 10 games in a row. Statistically, you start off 0-2, you're probably not going to get to the playoffs. You're probably not. And if Burrow's got a bad knee or a bad calf or a bad whatever, this team's not going to win. And if they don't block for him, this team is not going to win. Those two things have to happen. And I didn't see any of that yesterday.
I want to answer a couple comments here just because I'm on one today. Same starting linebackers as the Super Bowl. What are we talking about? Yeah, I said linebacker room, not starters. If you're going to criticize me, please listen. Pork chop. When did we get worse from the Super Bowl? Never said we got worse. Said it was a long time ago. If you're going to criticize, please listen. That's all I ask. And yes, I'm pissed off. And I'm probably going to rewatch this tomorrow and go, wow, I looked like an asshole. And no, that's not right. No, that's not right. I get it. I'm an emotional wreck right now. But at the same time, I'm tired of hearing about the Super Bowl already. To me, that's like hearing about the 75 Reds. I don't give a shit. It's in the past. Move on. I'm not a Steelers fan. I don't keep talking about the 70s. I don't talk about how great the Steel Curtain was. It's in the past. I've always said this. I put it on Twitter every year. You got until March to celebrate, and then it's over. New league year. You can be proud of it. It's awesome. But I don't ever want to hear about, well, what about this from 50 years ago? I don't care. 1 year ago and 50 years ago to me is the same thing. It's in the past. Doesn't matter. Has no bearing. Is what it is.
So the game yesterday has no bearing. It's in the past.
I get today to complain about it because that's what the show is.
Well, it's in the past, but it affects the balance of the season. It clearly affects the balance of the season.
Oh, yeah.
It's a division loss.
Season.
Yeah, no, it is. But remember, we started 0-3 in the division last year.
Then we won 10 in a row. Tom Browning threw a perfect game once. He's not going to throw a perfect game every year. I mean, you can't count on anomalies to get through there. You can't.
Well, we're kind of counting on the anomaly that was yesterday.
No, I said I'll give them 2 more games. If they don't come out of it, they're not going to do this again. They're not going to go on this 10-game winning streak again. There's no way they're going to do that again.
Yeah.
I've seen it one time in my life. Why would I think it's going to happen 2 years in a row?
Seen what one time in your life?
10-game winning streak for the Bengals.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I don't think anybody's saying they're going to run off 10 straight again.
No.
Well, that's what it took last year to get there.
When you start this slow, it takes things like that.
There's people panicking. I don't want to compare them to the Reds. There's people panicking about the Reds because the Reds have either 17 games left, and they're a game and a half out. The Bengals have 16 games left, and they're a game out. If they lose next week, they'll have 15 games left and be 2 out.
Yep. And
that's something to worry about.
I will say last year you were counting them out in the middle of the season, and I said, I'm not counting them out until they're mathematically eliminated.
I agree.
And they're
Miracles
not mathematically eliminated.
And it took a miracle.
I think they showed the real team that they were.
Yeah.
That's what they did last year. Because you go on a 10-game winning streak, those 10 games is more than what the first games were. That's my thought on that.
I don't know.
Hold on. Here's when you're going to get fired up. Why can't we go on a 10-game win streak? It sounds like a loser mentality. Hoping to go on a historical run is not a loser's mentality. Why don't the Reds just win the next 45, Dustin?
Right.
Okay. Well, they're going to do
win the World Series.
No, there are some things that are unreasonable. That's an unreasonable expectation. Just like that asshole on ESPN that tattooed never a doubt because the Chiefs were going to go 20-0. Well, guess what, dumbass? Now you've got a tattoo on your body that everybody gets to make fun of you for the rest of your life. There are just some things that are not – can they do it? Sure. Will they do it? 99% chance no. It's just math. That doesn't mean it can't happen. Doesn't mean it won't happen. Doesn't mean I'm rooting against it. I sure as hell hope they go on a 10-game win streak. But the likelihood of that happening is just not much. You have to be realistic.
I think there's a lot of people in the city right now that are like, They went 0-2 last year. No big deal. They don't understand the ramifications of 0-2. It is a big deal. They cannot lose this game Sunday, and I just hope they get a zillion things fixed because they had a zillion things that were wrong. And they're not playing a slouch. I know Baltimore did not play a good game against the Texans. They still won. That's all I'm saying.
I think they're going to be missing 2/5 of their line, their offensive line, their center and another guy. They're missing Marlon Humphrey. They're missing another defensive back. They're missing a lot of guys.
I don't really care.
To
play to Dustin's credit, we missed our entire offensive line and went to a Super Bowl. You can figure it out. You can figure it out. Good teams figure it out. Right. The Ravens had half their team on IR last year and took us to the wire back-to-back weeks. They almost beat. If it wasn't for Sam Hubbard's miraculous play,
it took another miracle for us to win that game.
It truly was.
Probably the biggest play in the history of the Bengals.
If it wasn't for at least the biggest defensive, the biggest defensive play in the history of the Bengals, they were going to lose a playoff game to a backup last year.
I will say that, and I think I've said this before, if all these miracles keep happening to this team, then maybe it's not actually miracles. Maybe they're actually good.
There's something to be
being a miracle
said,
if it keeps happening.
There's something to be said for putting because I don't believe in luck necessarily. I've said that several times on the show. There's something to be said about if it keeps happening, you're putting yourself in a position for good luck. But man, they're getting a lot of weird things to go their way. And, coming from this fan base, I don't think anybody would argue with me when I said it took like 50 years for those string of things to start happening good to us.
Yeah, because they were always happening to the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
So how many times are we going to have to rely on something like that? And when are we going to close the deal? Because we've had a couple miracles fall our way to put us in advantageous situations and haven't been able to seal the deal yet.
And then the following week, we destroyed the Bills. It's different each week. That should tell you it's different each week.
Sure.
I just want to see
people are like, oh, it is just one game because each week is different. They can come out and
the individual performances for sure can be 1 week, but every single game matters.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that.
My issue is the people going, "Oh, it's just one game," like it doesn't matter. No, one game costs you AFC Championship game.
I say it's one game. I think Greg agrees with that.
I agree with that.
It's literally just one game. It didn't make the entire season, did it?
Same.
Are we done? Are we eliminated from the playoffs? I don't think so.
No, I'm mad at this guy because I don't think he knows who he's talking to at the moment. It's a salesperson analogy. Whatever.
The last time I checked,
territory does have a difference, Dustin, whatever your name is.
But I'm going to have to say one thing to you, James. It is just one game, but that one game cost us hosting the AFC Championship last year.
Or the Bills game that got canceled did. There's other ways of looking at it.
One of the two.
There's other ways of looking at it. You could blame it on getting beat by Cooper Rush the next week. Sure. Which one was it?
We will agree to disagree. We'll see if Burrow rebounds or if there's going to be a series of excuses after next week.
I think he can. I think he will.
I think it's totally possible. Like I say, it would not look if Burrow came out and threw for 300 yards and 3 TDs. Let's just say that it would not surprise me.
It would,
and I'll be the first one to have egg on my face. But I've never seen him play like that before. None of us have ever seen him play like that before.
If you don't agree with that, that's fine. That's your opinion. Everybody's allowed to have their own opinion. I respect.
Did I say you weren't?
No, I never said you weren't. You just didn't think it though, like I did.
I think what he was thinking is what.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I have recency bias, and my recency bias tells me Burrow's not going to throw for 300 yards next week because the line's not going to block for him.
Okay.
I could see Joe Mixon go for about $120.
Yep.
If they stick with the run.
If your coach decides to run the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they stick with the run.
Because the run blocking was pretty good yesterday.
Until they decide they're churning out on the ground and they want to throw a freaking flea flicker or something in there instead of just sticking with what's working.
Hey, we still have T.I. We can make that flea flicker work.
Hey, Yoshi Bosch, he was dressed yesterday. I would have liked to see. Maybe he could have came in a little bit.
Where was Yoshi? I would have liked to see him play.
He's a gunner. He used him a gunner. So
He got snaps at the end of the game. I'm surprised you didn't say anything.
yeah, but they didn't throw any to him. But he did get some snaps. That's right.
Oh, because that's the other thing. Zach Taylor quit with about 8 minutes to go.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
And I think Mr. Burrow did too.
Well, they pulled him.
No, before they pulled him.
Before that, he was
Before they
throwing
pulled him, he
checkdowns.
quit. I could see it on the sidelines. He quit. I've never seen Burrow quit before either.
It's pretty rough to say he quit.
I
don't
don't
know that.
I don't. Yeah, that's
And nobody
As
will know
you, as you always say, agree to disagree.
yes.
that. Yes. It was a tough game yesterday.
It was just tough. It was tough. We were all. We were. We were all just so bummed out. Like I said, I was bummed out as hell. I didn't want to go anywhere. I couldn't go outside. It was a beautiful night. I couldn't do anything yesterday.
Do you know how many times I had to talk about it yesterday because of where I work and the way I am at work? We have 300 employees at our dealership.
Too many.
And I had to answer about 150 questions about it.
Oh boy.
Aw. Did you wake up to 700 missed text messages like I did?
No.
Oh, about
No.
550 were from our group chat. I wanted to throw my phone through the wall.
Oh yeah.
Corey, I had an uncle that never texted me at all. Was texting about the game. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Just leave me. Or I had buddies that live out of state that were asking, what happened to your Bengals? I'm like, I can't take this anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what it was. Luckily, a guy in my office, he is a Steelers fan, so we got to kind of wallow in our own misery together.
Shelly, it's a depressing show because they lost. I'm never happy with losing.
Yeah,
That's just where I'm at. A lot of people, for whatever reason, have a hard time understanding that I get this upset over losing, but it is what it is.
yeah, it was a tough game. That's all I can keep going back to. Tough game.
But hey, let's still keep moving forward.
As Bill Belichick said, we're on to Baltimore,
Yep.
even though he said Cincinnati.
Stop being like this when we lose.
Please
No.
don't stop being like this. He
Please
said.
don't.
Oh,
stop.
please.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, well, it hadn't changed in 20 years, Crypt. I can promise you. It ain't going nowhere. I have a feeling the next time we lose the game, James is like, I'm not coming on with Santori today. This is fucking brutal.
It's tough. It's tough. We're just different. That's all. We're just different.
Well, trust me, I hope they win their next 10, and I hope everybody's laughing at me and sending me texts, tell me what an idiot I am. I'd love that to happen.
You would welcome that. I know that.
I would welcome
No,
that.
Yeah.
I remember that from last year. No, I'm just kidding.
I'd cut my right arm off to win a Super Bowl. But I just can't stand pathetic play like that.
I would do my left because I lost my right arm when I had a wrist surgery and I literally had to have it like this. I couldn't use it. And I'm right-handed.
I use my left
I'd
arm
be like
for-
the guy in Monty Python. You can take both arms and both legs.
'Tis but a scratch.
What are you going to do, bleed on me?
Hey, that's what it is. That's what the game yesterday is. 'Tis but
Yeah.
a scratch. We're moving on to Baltimore. Let's eat.
But it
some-
wasn't a scratch. He lost both arms and both legs. That's what yesterday felt like.
But his mentality, it never changed.
He's an idiot. As he said, you're a loony.
Wait, getting to,
Listen to us talking about a movie and Greg's not chiming in.
Well, because Santori's gotten on me this before. I watched part of it, then I didn't really watch the whole thing. Yeah.
How have you not watched Monty
Oh.
Python?
I haven't watched the whole thing, but that one scene is classic.
Well, no, I stopped at the scene when the guy got like half his body cut off, and he still kept trying to fight the dude.
Yes, that's the scene. It's
He
classic.
kind of reminded me of Scrappy Doo a little bit and all that. just a little dog that tried to fight, but he was fighting a losing battle. That's what he reminded me of.
That's what the Bengals were. They were scrappy do.
Tom, I want the Bills because I can't stand that smug Aaron Rodgers. I want the Bills to win that game.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. The Jets are solid on paper.
Yep,
they're solid on paper, but we haven't seen it happen yet. So
Siri disagrees with you. They ain't solid on paper.
Do what?
Siri obviously disagrees with you. They are not solid on paper.
Oh, it said I don't know what you're talking about.
Yep.
Oh gosh,
the hell. Jumped up tonight when I take Santori to the mat and kick his ass in fantasy football. I have Stephon Diggs yet to play, and he has Dalvin Cook and whoever the tight end is for
Kincaid.
No.
For the
is
Jets?
it Kincaid?
Yeah, he's
Well,
got
they got Dawson Knox and
Kincaid.
They have Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid.
Maybe it's Kincaid. We're basically tied right now. It comes down to can his 2 beat my 1. I don't know. It depends if Dalvin Cook has a big game.
Well, I'm nervous tonight, man. I'm down by 1 point. The guy Travis. He's got a kicker, but I got Brandon Allen tonight. Just kidding.
Brandon Allen.
I'm down by 1 point. He's got the Bills kicker, but I got Brandon Allen. I think I like my chances.
I'm trying to look to see.
Do you mean Josh Allen?
Josh Allen, yeah.
I was going to say Brandon
Allen ain't doing shit for you, Greg.
I keep saying Brandon. At first I said, oh my God, dude, I can't get it right. Josh Allen.
I am up by quite a few points on Don't Tase Me, Bro.
That's smart.
And he's got Garrett Wilson and James Cook going tonight, and I'm done. But I'm up by like 26 points.
You could still sneak by.
We'll see. I'm projected to lose by 2, but we'll see what happens.
All right.
I've won games, James, by a half a point many a time. So
with the end of our Monday recap, it officially starts a new week.
Yep.
The bitching is over. The therapy session is ended. Punter Bully, I have one question for you. What kind of wings do you want at the tailgate Sunday?
Warm ones.
Hot ones. You ate the cold. That's your fault.
They were cold.
I brought them out of the. You waited until like the third quarter.
Santori, for the record, man, I
couldn't keep anything down. Oh, I'm not supposed to complain.
Santori, for the record, I had some of your leftover wings for dinner, and they were awesome.
I didn't even know you took wings home.
Well, no, Ashley just asked me, hey, do you want to take any? I'm like, well,
that's because we won't.
I asked you, I'm sorry, but I asked you if you could take some home.
Did you steal the wings? You stole the wings.
No, she said I could taste them, but you guys were staring at the TV. She says, do you want any food? I'm like, well, I don't want to see this go to waste. And
I'm going to have nothing to eat tonight now because you stole the wings.
Bengal Dad was looking for those.
You were? Well, I can take them back home. I got some in the fridge.
They'll be cold.
He's got ass in the freezer, too.
I licked my fingers in them, but they're still warm.
Dad, he's got ass in the freezer, too.
Yeah, I know he does. Is it chocolate?
I bought 5 or 6 pieces of ass today at Raiders.
I didn't know if Dad was in on that joke or not.
Oh, yeah, I was in on it.
I'm glad he understands.
What are you, a freaking vampire up there?
The sun went down. We have natural light.
No,
I'm poor.
Well, no. So Santoria, because we talked about a Bruce, what the favorite thing was at your house and your meatballs.
What the hell is going on in the chat?
Yeah, the meatballs.
No, the meatballs. And I said your balls. I said all Santori's balls I was eating left and right and all that. So, which I was.
Here's a trick question because Ashley did a sneaky one on you guys. I told her no, and it made me mad, but she did it anyway. What kind of meatballs were those?
Good meatballs.
Oh my God, Dad!
I'm trying to remember what he said.
Swedish.
What kind of meatballs were they?
Were they Italian?
Turkey.
They were just meatballs with Montgomery inn sauce on them. What were they?
They were turkey, actually.
Oh, they were pretty good. I like that.
They were turkey balls.
Can you make more of those? I would like them.
I didn't like them.
What?
I didn't like those. I didn't like the wings.
Well, you made them.
Yeah, I know. I messed up.
I'm
Because I
just
didn't
gonna
get to fry
How
them.
did you mess up, man? They were delicious, and they slipped right down in my throat. They were so good.
Ooh.
I'm just gonna say Amy walked in and said, "Are you guys talking about balls?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Footballs.
Yes.
No, I thought the buffalo chicken dip was good.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard to screw up lunch meat from Kroger.
Oh, Santori, how were my cookies that I brought over that I baked?
Oh, from Buskin, you baked those?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Did you get the plastic wrap seal and the Buskin box for
Oh,
him?
you
too?
know, man, I got the icing and everything. How were the Buskin cookies that I homemade?
I haven't eaten one yet. Ashley did.
You know how Matt has the sewing machine.
Yeah.
Greg's
Yeah.
got the box making machine.
Yes, I do.
And the plastic sealer.
Yes, I do.
God. No, so I've got leftover wings here. I've got about 18 months worth of meatloaf, or not meatloaf, lunch meat. And a pie from West Virginia that I did not share with you guys yesterday.
What?
Yeah, I saved that for myself.
All right. We'll say, Tori, I've told people this about you. I remember I always fail on your course meal. Remember I would stuff myself on the first course meal, but then you bring out the second, third. I'm like, God, I'm so stuffed. You got to pace yourself with your course meals, right?
Well, it's because I typically have 3 or 4 things that I'm cooking,
Right.
and it's hard to get everything timed the right way. And sometimes the
I know
wings
that.
do a little bit longer than they need to, and by the time everything's done, sometimes I'm bringing stuff down to halftime. I'm like, this is ready now. Like, especially when I'm driving home from West Virginia at 7 a.m. on game day, and I'm getting in my house at 10. Like, all right, let's start cooking. Like, walked in the front door and went straight into the kitchen. And Ashley's like, "Are you gonna let the dogs out?" I'm like, "No, they can suffer. I gotta get going."
All right, real quick, Greg, is Emmett Otter Jug Band Christmas a Christmas movie? It's only the greatest Christmas movie of all time.
Believe it or not, I know what that is. It's like a Muppet type movie. I actually do like that movie. Not the greatest of all time, but it's pretty good.
Is what?
I don't even know what it is.
It's a long story. It's about a bunch of puppet otters doing an otter Christmas band. It's a long story. I don't know how I came across it, but it was pretty good. But no, we're not talking Christmas movies till after Halloween.
Dad, what do you want for the tailgate?
Well, I think if they're not turkey balls, I'll go with those. Now that I know they are, I'm probably not going to be able to eat them anymore. Those are simple. Those are easy. They're simple. Give me some toothpicks. Got to have toothpicks with those.
I don't know how I do that at lot 1.
Oh, well, then forget that. Don't ask me then.
We're gonna have. I assume James is bringing his Blackstone. I don't know for sure. If he still likes me after this show, I don't know.
I don't think he likes me. I think I'm on the list.
I'm bringing it.
I'm on the list.
No,
I got to share a house with him on Saturday. He might murder me.
no. Get out
I hope you're going home after the game, because if they lose, he's gonna be like, I got to share a house with this guy.
Well, no,
I'm going home.
I'm going too, St. Tori. I ain't going to do anything to you.
Yeah, you won't hurt me though. He might.
Pork chops bring the geta.
Yeah, he is. He wants me
Have
to fry
I
it
shown
together.
myself to be violent?
Yes.
What?
It's just burgers and dogs, son. Just burgers and dogs.
Son. Oh, I called you son. I'm just make what you want. I trust your judgment.
I wanted carne asada. James wanted raven wings.
The purple raven wings, yeah.
Yeah, I got to dye chicken wings and make them purple. We can have raven wings.
Yeah.
You might get on TV if you're eating those.
Are you gonna eat a purple chicken wing, Dad?
Sure.
I mean, it's just gonna be like barbecue or something.
Sure.
I got to find a way to dye it properly, though. I was thinking about doing tacos. I'm getting like smaller by the second year.
Yeah, I thought you were doing tacos. You were.
My whole head is disappearing.
Yeah.
All right, I'm bringing potato chips. That's it. That's what you
All
get.
right.
Is that better?
Oh my God.
Yeah. Wait, yes, son. Bring whatever you want besides.
You know, you guys know what tripe is, don't you? You know what it's made from?
Oh yes, I know what tripe is. It's
Sheep
horrible.
stomachs.
Yes.
I never tried it, but it sounds interesting.
It's not what you want, Greg. Not what you want.
I'm out. I'm out on
All right,
that.
I think we're done.
Last time I asked Dad what he wanted, he said fried octopus, and I
went
got the
and got it.
octopus. Yeah. I had the cops called on me that night, and I answered the door holding an octopus. I don't think he was ready for that.
He was not.
Is that your Subaru? Huh? There's an octopus in my hand.
You're like trying to tell the story. Well, you see, my dad said no.
Son, why do you have 3 octopuses?
Octopi?
I don't think it's actually octopi.
I don't know. I have no idea. There's another way out.
I'm going with octopi. I think it's octopi.
I don't think it is. I think that's one that is odd.
Here, hold on. What's the plural?
What about platypus?
Uh,
Is that platypi?
Octopuses.
See, I told you. I thought that one was different.
Gotta be careful with that one.
Yes.
Octopuses. Hernandez's. Octopuses.
All right, I'm out. I'm gonna try to watch some football since therapy's over, and I'm gonna see if therapy worked.
I love all of you. I love you, Dustin. I wanted to make an example of comments, but I love you. No.
Fist bump.
Stop that.
Wait a minute.
Up.
I'm still going the wrong way.
Straight
Let's
up.
all fist each other.
Straight up.
Yeah. I like what I said.
Oh.
Woo.
Boom. Wonder Powers Unite. Oh, never mind.
What is that?
I'm giving our punter one more week.
Platypussies.
Oh my gosh. On that note.
And right into the stretch. Looking back and throws up the middle. Throws is on his way